Hey gamers, it's Jesse of Card Power Gaming, and today I'll be showcasing a brand new game. It's called Exodus the TCG. It's a really fun, fast-paced game produced by Existence Games. It's really cool. The creators of the game, Jake and Lexi Medina, really cool people. I'd love to meet them. My friend actually got me this card, which is one is signed by um, Jake and the other one signed by Lexi, and they're both really cool. Um, but yeah, no, I've heard they're just really nice people and stuff, and I wanted to showcase their game today, Exodus the TCG. This will be a quick how to play video, and it'll also be kind of like an informative video about like how the game works and just like what the game is and things like that. So the way the game works is you both start right here at 10 life. As you can see, this is a life counter. It's pretty cool. And you have a deck of 40 cards. If you were to get a starter deck, you would get a deck of 40 cards. You would get 20 energy cards, which counts as his own deck. And then you would get 20 main deck cards, which are just for your main deck. Now, this game consists of 3 types of cards. You have your energy cards, your creature cards, and your symmetry cards. And your symmetry cards, you can think of these kind of like spell cards from like Yu-Gi-Oh! Or for Magic, creature cards like monsters, and energy, kind of like energy in Pokemon. Like that. So that would be like the best way to think about it. So the way a normal game would go is like this. So you would take your energy deck. Your energy and your main deck have to have the same sleeves. So I guess you don't really have to because it's all the same. But you can shuffle up your energy if you really want to. But your energy does go face down, and you shuffle up your deck, and can run you through how a normal turn would basically go. So, and I have a rule card here for reference. So the first is your draw phase. Now, whoever is going first, you can attack. However, unlike most games where you would draw and your opponent would draw, whoever's going first and the person second doesn't draw until their turn. So if I'm going first, right, you draw 3 cards, which is your draw phase, and then 3 energy cards. And I would have now 6 cards, and my opponent would have 0 cards in hand. And that's how we would start the game. So I would look at my hand, and now we enter the energy phase. So the energy phase is basically where you start. You play energy, and the way you play energy is you just play them down. You can play them in any way you want to work. You can do 3 individual piles of 3, a pile of 2, and a 1, or just 1 pile of 3. And you will notice this is how the game is played, and this is actually where your creatures are going to go when you play them here, which is going to be really cool. So, like that, if you were to have, let's say, let's go with Council of the Guardians here. So, if I were to get the 3, right, so I had the 3 here, and I wanted to make, let's say, 1 pile of 3, I can play my creature right there, right on that pile of 3. And what you'll notice is that creature has no attack or defense points, nothing like that. The attack and defense are actually all determined by the energy. So in a way, you could say this monster, or this creature, has 3 attack and 3 defense. And that's really cool, and I like that, it doesn't obscure the artwork or anything with like attack and defense, and the designs are just really cool. But the same way, if you were to separate these, and you were to do 2 and 1, I can leave 1 energy here, and put him right on there, so you would have 2. And that's pretty much how it works. After the energy phase and the creature phase, you go into your attack phase. Because it would be the first turn, I wouldn't be allowed to attack, of course, but what I would be able to do, if it wasn't the first turn, is I could go ahead and, let's say, swing for 2. Or if I put them all together as a 3, let's say I can swing for 3. So we both have 10 life points. If they have a creature, if they were to have a creature, let's say with 3, then what would happen is I'm attacking their creature, right? So if I'm attacking their creature, and let's say they both have 3, then these both died. Let's say they have 2. Let's say their creature has 2 energy, I have 3 energy. So I would take 2 energy from him, and it would go back into the energy deck, and their creature would die because it has no more energy. Creatures can't survive without energy. So that's basically how it works. If they had no creatures and I was attacking directly, then that's where the damage comes in, and they would take 3 damage. So 9, 8, and 7. And now they'd be at 7. Once they hit 0, they lose the game. Very simple, right? And yeah, no, that's pretty much how it is. That's all really the whole game. It's really simple, and you just keep going back and forth until that happens. So let's say I'm going to go ahead and do that. So let's say I keep this on a pile of 3. This one actually does have an ability when he's summoned. I get to reveal the top card of my main deck and put it back on the top or bottom. So I'm going to look at my top card. Cataclysm. That's a cool card. I don't really want it at this moment in time, though, so I'm going to go ahead and put it at the bottom. And I'm going to keep my deck that way, and I'm actually going to go ahead and end my turn. At the end phase, you would resolve any effects that you had at the end phase, and if nothing else, then they can go. So let's say now it would be their turn. Now, here's where symmetries come in. Symmetries are really cool because when they act a little more like quick spells from the hand, if those of you who are familiar with Yu-Gi-Oh! These, what they basically do is, I can activate these during my turn or my opponent's turn, and they have special abilities depending. Some say pay 1 energy, some don't. But they're super fast. They're very quick cards. They're like spell speed 4, if you want to call it. And then they create what's called chains, so my opponent could chain to them if I activate it. So let's say their turn, they go ahead and draw 3 cards and 3 energy. So I would basically play Vortex, and what would happen is I would pay an energy. But unlike in Yu-Gi-Oh!, I don't pay the energy first. I have to wait till they can chain, and the payment actually is the last thing that happens. So I play Vortex, and they can chain any symmetries and stuff from their hand. But however, what this does is that because it's on their turn, and they drew their energy, and their energy hasn't been played yet. So what ends up happening is they end up having to discard that energy. So Vortex says, pay 1 energy. Both you and your opponent discard your entire hand, including any unplayed energy cards, and draw 3 new cards from your main deck. That's pretty awesome, which means I'm going to go plus. But I'm also, so let's say they activate something like Chains, which means I can't attack. That's fine. Let's go ahead and I'm going to chain Forest of Crags. So now Forest of Crags says I pay 1 energy, and I look through your main deck and select 1 card. Shuffle your main deck and place the selected card on top. Now I'd be paying 2 energy. So if they had a way to get rid of 2 energy, then either it would fizzle out because I would no longer have the energy to play it, since payment is at the end of it, or he would die because I would have to pay, and then he would, he would lose all his energy. But let's say they had no way to disrupt it, then what would end up happening is if they had nothing else to chain, or they finished all their chains, it would resolve in order. So just like in Yu-Gi-Oh!, I'm going to pay 2 energy. These go back to the energy deck. I'm going to look through my main deck with Forest of Crags for a card I want and put it on top. And I know exactly which card I'm looking for. So we're going to go ahead and grab... let's get a creature. You know what? Let's grab Emburia, Bringer of Inferno. He's really cool. So we'll shuffle this up. Okay, this goes to the graveyard. And now he goes right on top of the deck. And then Vortex resolves, so I paid the other energy. That's why I sent the 2 energy for it. This goes, and then you and your opponent draw 3 cards. However, they've just lost. They went -3 because they just lost basically 6 cards. So let's go ahead and look at your hand, and look at that. Cataclysm, Maelstrom, and Embryo, Bringer of Infernos. Now, they don't have any energy, which means now they can't really play anything. So unless they had another way to get energy, by a special ability, like maybe Invoke or something, then there's really nothing else they can do. So they would just end their turn, and I would just be free. So now, beginning of my turn, I draw 3 new cards. So you'll always have a lot of cards to work with in this game, because you're always drawing 3 and 3. And again, we're going to the energy step, so I'm going to go ahead and play 3 here. I have a couple creatures, so I'm actually going to do the 2-in-1. So I'm going to play Embryo, Bringer of Infernos onto 2, which means now they have to, his ability activates, so they have to discard a card from their hand. And then I'm going to play Ethel, the Everlasting Empress, right on the 1. And her ability is Miracle Heal. If my life points are lower than my opponent's, then they become equal. And what ends up happening is we would go... So, actually, since I played her, my opponent, let's say, was at 7. So, I would be actually taken down to 7. So you can see why that wasn't a great move. But if they were at 10... and I was at 7, I would be taken up to 10. So it's really great. It's an awesome, you just have to know when to play it. That's really what it comes down to. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. And we got some awesome cards in here. We're going to energize to energize this one here. Because it gives you energy. And I mean, that's pretty much it. And then this card's really cool, Maelstrom, which is a switch switch your main deck with your graveyard, flip over your main deck, and it becomes your graveyard. Shuffle your graveyard before it becomes your main deck. So if we were to activate this, we would basically do this. So this is our graveyard, and it flips, and now that becomes our grave. Fun stuff. So you were to do that. And now what happens is I did that for a particular reason, because let's say we were to draw and run out of cards. So if we ran out of cards, right, let's say I drew and I couldn't draw anymore, then all this right here just gets shuffled back into your deck. Pretty cool, right? So, I mean, that's the basics of the game, guys. That's really, like, it's really simple. I really can't get it past how simple and easy it is to play, and it's just so much fun because of how fast-paced it is. But yeah, no, let's say if they didn't have anything, I would attack for 1, 2, and 4. So, I mean, that'd be 6 damage right there, or 5 damage right there. Look at that. Can't count today. But yeah, no, guys, it's a really fun game. I definitely recommend it. I have to recommend it. It's so cool. I'm going to go ahead and leave a link down in the description below to the Exodus channel as well as the video, because they have a very in-depth tutorial of how to play Exodus, and a very... I think it's with the guy Jake Medina, and he's really cool. He really knows, like, his stuff, obviously, because he created the game. So he really knows what he's doing. So I'm going to go ahead and link you down to that video. And basically to show you, if you guys want to learn more in-depth how to play and see a real game fold out, that would be really cool. But I just wanted to make this video to do a quick introduction. And also, if you wanted to get the starter decks are about $20. There's dragons and angels right now. The boxes, the only box out right now is Galaxy Tides. It's about $40. It's really, really cool. We're actually getting a new set coming out, so it's a great time to start playing. The new set comes out August 17th, I believe. Really fun, really great stuff. But yeah, guys, from all of us here at Card Power Gaming, my name is Jesse. Hope to see you soon on the Exodus front, and I'll catch you guys later.